Hello there, my good people. It's your boy, the Man Penguin here, coming at you with a more chillaxed Hearts of Iron 4 video today. Today, I am not playing any nation, but instead I'm doing a quote-unquote tutorial, using my experience from the Italy and Romania world conquests, as well as experience from others, on how to go about conquering the world as either a minor or a major nation. This video was requested of me quite some time ago by XYZ271K. I apologize it took me so long to get to it, but we're here now. Of course, before we get started, if you find the video helpful or enjoy it, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. At 300 subs, I will be doing the Black Ice mod, and at 500, a Haiti World Conquest. Thank you all for the support so far, it's been awesome. Coming up with a game plan. This may either be the most profound or most obvious tip that I can give, but when starting a world conquest, having a game plan is key. For minor and major nations, no two are the same, and each will require a different approach to conquering the world. Playing a nation like Italy, for example, building a sufficient air force and some paratroopers will allow you to bum rush Britain before it ever really has a chance to stop you. But playing as, say, Communist China will take much longer and require a different strategy altogether. For example, when I played Romania, my game plan was to conquer the Axis first, then turn my sights on the Allies, then finally finish off the Soviets. The plan did work, and went overall according to my plan, but there were some hiccups. In spite of those hiccups, I was still able to do decently enough because I had a general idea. One can never discount the importance of a game plan, but what good is a plan if you aren't producing anything? Producing equipment and how to use it. Intelligent equipment production is key to any major world conquest. For any nation, you need a competent industry. During my Romania world conquest, when I was at war with the Allies, I was not able to outproduce them in sheer numbers of equipment. In many world conquests, especially ones that go into the late game, you probably won't be able to outproduce your enemy in every type of equipment until you've conquered most of them. With that in mind, it's imperative that your production lines, access to raw materials, and divisions themselves are as complete as they can be. What I mean is that your factories are assigned in large numbers to specific equipment rather than dispersed among lots of different equipment. For example, I found that the most efficient navy to produce is one loaded with destroyers, cruisers, and subs. Obviously, as you conquer much of the world, you are going to steal your enemy's navy, and that's great, but you also need to produce your own most of the time. These three ship types are cheaper to produce and very efficient in tandem with naval bombers / maritime patrol vehicles. Your air force is easily one of the most important parts of your world conquest. When I do world conquests, the majority of my military factories are used on airplanes and tanks. Your air force needs to outnumber the enemies. But also, you need to have planes that are inherently better than what the AI can produce. Once you cripple your enemy's ability in the air, they can no longer mount real resistance against you, as you can just cast bomb them to death. Personally, I like to run small airframes for my fighters, giving them range, agility, air attack, and defense. I also like to produce motherships and buff their reliability, weapons, and engines. That's how I maintain my air superiority. For my CAS, I usually start with small airframes, but as my industry gets better, I switch to medium airframes for the extra range. It means that I have to micro my air less. The more range they have, the less microing I need to do. Production of large airframes is important, as strap bombers allow you to nuke nations, and maritime patrol vehicles are a great way to deal damage to the enemy fleet. Tanks. In the beginning of your world conquest, odds are you will rely heavily on infantry divisions. If you have a quick world conquest, which does happen, infantry and lots of planes will suffice. However, if your conquest goes into the later game, or you find yourself fighting a tough opponent, tank divisions will be your salvation. I've conquered the world with many a tank division. At times they've simply been 20 widths of just tank and motorized, while other times they're 40 or more width with self-propelled artillery. Tanks are useful, especially more so than infantry, because they're stronger and faster. And they decrease your losses and allow you to produce less infantry equipment and focus your factories on more useful things. Of course, tanks on their own won't do you very well. They need sufficient air support, or at least no enemy air support, to do their job well. Garrison and logistics. I'm slapping these two together as they're very important, but they don't require a lot of explaining. Make sure you are always producing trains. You will get trains as you conquer the world, but if you have none to begin with, your divisions won't go anywhere. For your garrisons, cavalry is fine to start, never use infantry, but you always want to switch over to armored cars. It really doesn't matter if you have enough of them, simply switching over will save you so much infantry equipment and manpower in the long run. Tips and tricks. Point 3 has some useful little tricks that I've learned from my own experience as well as others to help smooth out a world conquest a little bit. These tips and tricks are also useful just in general, not even just for a world conquest, but still. Justifying on other nations when at war with a major. When at war with a major nation, your justification time is much shorter than when not at war. Taking advantage of this can really help cut down on the amount of time a world conquest may take, and you may even be able to get them in the peace deal if they join a faction and are not a major nation. I employed this strategy a ton in my Italy world conquest, and it really helped cut down on the overall time it would take. Collaboration governments. This is more of a tip, but make sure to build collab governments. They can be the difference between quickly capping a nation or getting bogged down in a slog. Such examples that I've experienced is invading Britain. Britain is a pain in the ass to invade, especially if you do not have naval superiority. It becomes a slog and a pain in the ass. Luck. This isn't really a tip/trick, but getting lucky is very important to a world conquest. In my Romania world conquest, and even the Italy one, I got very lucky. Being able to pretty much take all of Germany in the peace deal during the Romania world conquest was extremely lucky. The Allies being incompetent was also very lucky. When the Belgians joined the Allies in my Italy world conquest, this was actually very lucky as Britain was not prepared at all for the war, and I basically got most of the world by 1938. Resources. Simply, build lots of infrastructure in resource-rich provinces, and if you do not have immediate access to rubber, research and build refineries. You need resources to produce your war machines. Another important thing to research fully is your fuel refining. Your planes, tanks, and navy cannot run without fuel. Patience and knowing when to restart. Unless you are going for the speedrun record for a world conquest, odds are you will need to be patient. Rushing in, especially before you are ready, can go well, or it can end disastrously. I had a world conquest attempt that ended disastrously once when I went in unprepared. I was attempting a Luxembourg world conquest and it was going extremely well. I had most all of Central Europe, but I decided to get cocky and I rushed into a war with the Allies and I lost everything. It was brutal. It hurt. It hurt a lot. Ironically though, that fail is actually what led me to doing the Italy World Conquest video instead. Knowing when a game is lost, especially before you get too into it, is vital. When I did the Romania World Conquest in my first playthrough, it took 2 playthroughs, but in my first playthrough, I ended up at war with both the Soviets and the Allies. It was horrible, and while I had not lost the war at that moment, I said, fuck it, I'm done, and I just restarted, and my restart did much better, and is the video that you guys can all watch now. Asides. Pretty much everything I stated here is applicable to both minors and major nations, but there are a few little things I wanted to touch on with majors that I think are important. With a major nation, in comparison to a minor nation, you have a much larger room for error. If you make a mistake in a major nation, it's probably not going to be the end of the world. In a minor nation, it could be. In a major nation, bum rushing the Allies and America is the most important key to decreasing the amount of time spent on a world conquest. The Allies are a pain in the ass, and you can bum rush them as a minor nation, it's just much harder. As a major, you already have a lot of the tools to do it, so do it. The Allies suck, they're a pain in the ass. That seems like everything I can think of, honestly. I hope you all find this video useful or helpful. XYZ, I apologize that the video took me so long to get to, but I hope it helps you. If you all enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Obviously, you all know 300 subs, which we are so close to, I will be doing the Black Ice mod, and at 500 subs, I will be doing a Haiti World Conquest. The support recently has been insane, it's been awesome, I mean, you guys have just been great, so thank you guys so much, and I shall see you all in the next video. this Friday. Peace out.